Okay, let's have a little conversation. Let's call this Free for All Fridays, just like the one dude on the radio station. But somebody asked me why I associated criminals with cops. Well, I didn't mean they're literally criminals. I was just saying that a lot of the stuff that is ran in the police department and all that stuff is similar to criminal shit, right? But even though we're not gonna say they're criminals, but a lot of the shit they do is like similar to criminals, right? Like the guy that gave me a ticket today for $25 for me making a mistake and not giving him the insurance on time because I gave him the wrong one by accident. He could have easily just said, all right, you made a mistake. That's clear. You don't have to pay $25. But instead, he charged me and gave me a ticket for it. Now I got to pay $25 for that. And that's some bullshit because, like, I made a mistake. I shouldn't be charged for that. So we think it's okay because it's a cop, right? That's like if I went to a car wash and then by accident I gave him the wrong voucher. I was supposed to get the $10 car wash, but since I showed him the wrong one, he charged me $25. I'd be like, what the hell's wrong with you? You can't just do that. I made a mistake. I gave you the wrong thing, man. But that one, you guys will say that's some criminal shit right there. But when the cop does it, it's fine, right? Why? Why is it fine if the cop does it? See, it's like some of the stuff they do is just messed up. It's just a way to make money. How you gonna do that? You pulling people over and you give them tickets for the stupidest shit. For a lot of the things are mistakes. They'll pull somebody over and they'll see something hanging on their what do you call it? Their windows, and they'll say vision obstruction when it's really not. It could just be the smallest thing. They'll give them a ticket for that. And then they got to match a quota, a certain number, let's say 100. If they don't, they'll get in trouble. So that motivates cops to go pull people over just to give them tickets. Is that something they're doing for the fairness of society and the public to help them out? No, they're getting and matching a quota to basically make a certain amount of money for the city and the police department or whatever. Because it should technically be in a way where they only should pull people over if they really need to pull that person over if they did something wrong. Not because they need to match a quota, but unfortunately it's not like that. They need to match a quota, so they're pulling people over left to right. I remember back when I was going to high school or college, one officer came up to me and, not me, to the class, and he said, we have to match a quota and we pull people over. And if you think that we won't find something in your car, trust me, we could find at least 2 or 3 things just to write you up a ticket. And that's what they do a lot of the times. So that's not justice. That's not fairness. That's bullshit. So like I was saying, so they're pulling people over, giving people tickets, right? Just for the stupidest shit. Like one example is the seatbelt. They're going to give me a ticket because I didn't wear my seatbelt. How the hell are you going to give me a ticket for that? Now, if I didn't put a seatbelt on my child, if I had one, okay, give me a ticket. That's not right. But this is my life. I'm putting my life in danger, not yours. Okay, now you gave me a ticket. What do you think that's going to do? I'm talking hypothetically, okay? So if he gave me a ticket for my seatbelt, what happens now? Does that motivate me to start wearing my seatbelt? No, it doesn't. It just gives me a fat-ass fine for like $200 that I need to go pay. And then what if I'm broke? I don't pay that, I might end up getting a warrant and going to jail. That makes my life even worse. That doesn't help me out. So now I did pay the $200, let's just say. Then what's going to happen? Do you think I'm going to start wearing my belt forever now because you gave me a $200 ticket? No. All that's going to do, if I'm one to not like wearing my seatbelts, I'm going to continue to not wear my seatbelt. And the only time I'm going to wear it is when I see a cop. I'll just put it on. It's not like your $200 charge motivated me to change my life and not wear a seatbelt anymore. All it did was give me a $200 fine and make me $200 broker and make you and the city and the police department $200 richer. All you did was steal my money, basically. There's no reason you should have just gave me a $200 ticket. Like I said, it didn't change my life. And I got these tickets before, seatbelt tickets. I know from experience that it doesn't make me start wearing my seatbelt now. I'm just saying, you know. I'm not saying I don't ever wear my seatbelt, but I'm just saying it's not like the tickets had any influence on me wearing a seatbelt. So that's just one example. There's so many of these examples. They give you tickets for the stupidest shit. It's just a way for them to make money off you. So now we think it's so normal because cops do it. So, like, it's okay. But if some random guy just set up a business where he could just give you tickets or whatever and just charge you, you think that's fair? Hell no. You would say this guy's stealing from me. He's just pulling me over just to make money. So, you know what's messed up? We're always taught growing up that we should give people second chances. When cops, most of the times, they see you make a mistake, they won't give you a second chance for that. They'll literally give your ass a ticket. There's no second chances, even though it was a sincere mistake. So now think about it like this. Is that if anybody else other than a cop did something similar to that, you would say that's a criminal behavior right there. But if a cop does it, it's okay. So that right there proves it. That's some bullshit, and they're running this shit like they're the mob. Like they're gonna fucking just give tickets for no fucking reason. And that's just one thing. Okay, number two, I'll just say this part real quick. A lot of people might not agree with me, and if you agree with me, I want you to tell me if you agree with me. Just like, let me know on DM or whatever. Because I might be the only one to think like this. I don't know. But I look at it like this. Cops are getting a lot of money, okay? The city's getting a lot of money. They take tax money. They get all this money from tickets. They probably get thousands and thousands a week just from tickets. It's like a big business. They got to get a quota, match a quota. They pull people over on weekends. They pull people over every day for bullshit. They're getting all this money. And then, like, cops, the city, like Detroit, Hamtramck, it's violent as fuck. Like, these cops are not really doing shit. They're just doing their hour-to-hour job. They're getting their hourly pay. They're looking at it like it's a regular job. I don't even just blame the cops. It's just the people in charge of the cops and shit. It's just, think about it like this. If I was a business, right, and you guys paid me thousands of dollars a day, a week, and you told me the same amount of money that cops get in the city or whatever pays the cops and the city gets, y'all paid me that, and I'm a business and I have employees under me, and then you guys told me you have one duty to basically get your employees to clean up this city, make sure that shit isn't dangerous and violent and all this criminal behavior going on. What would you expect for me to do? Do you think I'm just gonna hire employees and just be like, all right, look, you guys are on duty and that's it? And like basically sit on the corners with your fucking radar detectors, make sure that nobody is getting speeding. If they are, just pull them over, and like pull people over that aren't wearing seat belts and shit like that. And that's your, and then just prowl around when you're free, go eat some donuts and shit like that. You think that's what you guys would be happy for me to do? No, you would make sure that you would want my employees to crack down on any criminal activity. Just be on the prowl. We're giving you all this money. I want you to like be like Batman in this bitch. You know what I'm saying? Just go look for criminals. Don't wait on a 911 call just to, when some shit goes down. Then yeah, you go up there. That's number one. But don't just wait on it. I want your ass to be like detectives looking for crimes. Like driving around, not driving around because you want to go stop by Dunkin' Donuts and grab your ass some donuts. Drive around, be on the prowl to make sure nobody's doing shit wrong. But unfortunately, I'm telling you, from everything I've been seeing in life, cops are not like that. They sit on their fucking ass at the fucking police stations, wait on a call to come in from 911, and they'll go do their radaring shit. Other than that, they're chilling. But like, we think it's okay because that's just how we were brought up. But if you think about it from a business perspective, that we're paying them all this money, whether it's through tax money or them getting tickets and shit, and they're not basically providing the service that they're really being paid for. But yeah, I know it's not all the cops' fault because these are duties and protocols set up from their superiors, but their superiors need to be in check. Like all this shit is like politics. The people on top need to tell cops, your only duty is to fucking clean up the city. And the city is not clean as it should be, and that reflects a lot of it with cops, because cops are responsible for this duty. Like, if there's fire in the city, obviously firefighters reflect that. Firefighters, if there's a fire going on for 3 days and nobody's doing shit, we're gonna blame the firefighters, right? And if there's some guy like dying here and the EMT's not here, we blame the EMT. But when the fucking city is violent as fuck and nothing changing, we don't blame the cops, because we're so used to this shit, like it being this way, that we forget to blame the cops. But in reality, it's the superior of people in charge that's supposed to clean this city up and make sure this shit is not violent at all. So if that means you need to hire more cops or whatever, you need to do what you got to do with all that money you're getting to make sure there's literally every year crime is decreasing and not increasing. And that's the opposite what's going on. So I'm sorry, I have to blame the cops, and I want them to retrain the cops, because when they do try to solve a crime, they don't fucking just solve it, they kill somebody. They kill them with lethal force when they don't need to kill them with lethal force. They need to be retrained in their behavior on how to conduct themselves and how to fucking crack down on crime and shit, and not just be busy pulling people over just to give them a fucking ticket for, what do you call it, for a fucking seatbelt ticket or some stupid petty shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that, you know what I mean, like seatbelt tickets are fine, but that shouldn't be the like the main thing of your job. They could be spending time actually making a difference and changing the world, and then people would respect cops when they actually like solve all these crimes and actually do something good, instead of just picking on innocent people that don't need to be picked on, like how I got that ticket today. Like, yeah, there's some cops doing good shit, but for the most part it's corrupt, just picking on innocent people. So like I said, if it was me running my business, getting all this money, you guys would be all on my ass like, you're not doing a good job, we want to hire another business. But when the cops are doing that shit and they're just eating donuts and not cracking shit down, then all of a sudden nobody wants to like blame the cops, when in reality it's a big problem. So I will say this one last thing though, because yeah, it might come up that there's not enough cops. But like I said, they're getting so much money that if the city, everyone wants, then they could make enough cops or make them do more. That shouldn't be some kind of give up answer, there's not enough cops. There's enough cops. They just need to get their job duties organized the right way, to handle things the right way, instead of wasting time pulling people over on some dumb shit. And like I said, they could always hire more cops. Like, they need to take away from the city budget stuff that they need to take away from other stuff and pay more cops, if that's what they need to do, to hire more cops to clean up the city. Or use some of that ticket money and pay to get more cops. But like I said, this is another point, but they're never going to do this because there's too much politics and shit involved, that they don't really care about the state in general should be the most important thing. Instead of looking at it with all this divide and shit, division, separation, what I believe my idea was, Detroit is overcrowded, it has the most crimes, right? So they need to grab people that aren't active from different cities when they need help. Like, let's say Bloomfield Hills, they basically rarely get crimes. What do they get? Like some disturbing the peace crime. So, okay, why not, when Detroit's overcrowded and other cities aren't crowded, just call them in like, we need help here, and then come help that city. The city that needs help, they should get cops from other cities to come help them. That would be the humane thing to do. That would be the way to solve even more crimes. And I think that should be a requirement for police officers. Your goal should be to be an officer because you want to help out, not about you want to work at this city or make this much amount of money. If your goal is to be a police officer, it should be to help out. and it shouldn't matter what city you work at. So that should be a requirement, and the politics and all this shit shouldn't get in the middle of that, and the cities shouldn't interfere with that and say, no, our city works only for our city. It should be like this, each cop works for the state. So anywhere they have most issues, cops are sent to that area. And like, obviously they're gonna still have some cops within the city that stays there, but an amount that is okay to have. And then like some of the cops can be shipped out to different cities that need help. And then same as Detroit, if they're not as busy and they need help at Warren or Novi, then they could go there. It should just be able to intermingle within the cities. That way you'll see this crime rate go a lot lower. But they don't give a shit about all that. They just want to just keep their cops at their perimeters, and they keep Detroit cops at their perimeter, and nothing ever gets solved. It's like all that, same thing with the countries, divide and conquer. You leave Bangladesh with their people and Pakistan with their people. Some shit goes down in Pakistan, Bangladesh doesn't help, blah, blah, blah. But before, what was it? Everybody was together. Everybody's helping each other out. So I'm just saying, man, if they really wanted to make a change up in the top, superiors, they would talk amongst each other and talk and say, look, this is what we need to do and we need to solve all this. But at the end of the day, it's about politics. It's about making money for my city. It's about how much the judge is going to keep in his pocket, how much this guy is going to keep in his pocket, the city council and all this and that. Nobody really gives a shit.